Welcome to our weekly group call. I hope you're all doing well and have had a good weekend. Bit of a crazy weekend we've just experienced. So we won't go into that now, but let's have a look at what the system has been doing over the last week, and also some of the updates. So we'll try to put all the negativity and the bad things behind us, and focus on what we need to do ourselves, right? We need to be able to create financial freedom for ourselves. We need to be able to trade effectively. So let that be our main focus. So let me just deactivate this camera and just get that off the screen. Make sure everything else is fine and working. All right, so as usual, we start with our signal charts. This show me the money signal chart. I've got it on the DTB bar. So the very, very, very best way to read price for any chart is using the DTB bars. So much better than any minute bars or range bars or anything like that. And that is because the bars themselves, the price that you are seeing or the values that you are seeing is the exact price this depiction of where price has been. Okay, so there's no noise in these type of bars. So whatever bar size you choose to use, you can guarantee that what you are seeing on the chart is exactly where price has been, and every single bar is measurable exactly the same. So you're not going to have some bars that are different length bars, like with minute bars. Anything could happen in that period of time. Whereas these are extremely, extremely accurate in determining what actually is happening with price. So very, very powerful. So on the signal chart, now, as you guys are familiar with, you know that these breakout markers, they give you a very good indication of what price is going to do. So our very first one that came out was at 6 p.m. Now I loaded this at this time of the chart over here. Okay, so if you look back at these markers that are left behind, so this one was left behind, and we had an arrow there, so there was an opportunity there to get into some profit. Now remember, we had this band over here which served as a resistance to price, so that would have been a small scalping trade up. We had the price bounce off there again, which would have been another opportunity. And then we had the price actually break through this level to the downside, but we had quite a few of these arrows over here. So not really a time to be going short over here. And that is mainly because we have the hourly 61.8 Fibonacci levels there. So as soon as you get the price coming close to these Fibonacci levels, you can expect some sort of resistance or some sort of price action away from them. So what we had over here is the 61.8. We had these arrows. We had the price bounce up. Now, if you historically look, if you look at Friday's data, you will see we have Friday's data there. We had the price also come to the same level, 61.8. If we go back even further, you'll see over here, had multiple price reversals around the 61.8. So you can keep going back, and then we've obviously had the other 61.8, which is the 4-hour one. So it's amazing how the price actually goes and reacts around these levels. And it plays out all the time. So that is a powerful thing to look out for. Okay, so our next breakout marker, and the reason why I'm going through these markers now, because there's something I want to explain to you or show you at the end. So this is the next one over here. Okay, it got left behind. The price went slightly up. Okay, now if you look at the marker, you'll see it's on that specific bar. So whichever bar the marker is left behind on, that is where the signal generates from. Okay, the price went slightly up over there, had a down arrow. We had our momentum line face beautifully up. So if we scroll back like this, now remember, if we look back like this is this is the exact place of that momentum line. So it's right with the price. So when the momentum line is with the price, you've got to be a little bit wary with that. It's not a extremely powerful signal when the momentum line is with the price. Okay. It's only when it deviates from the price is it, more of a powerful signal. So as you can see there, gone up, momentum line is still facing up. The price dropped a little bit. We'll go to the next marker. Okay, so that it came down a little bit. Now, this marker over here, you'll see this red one happened on this bar. Okay, so the price went up, it touched, and the marker was left behind, coming back down. Okay, so that's that one. And then the price went down a bit. Look at the momentum line. The momentum line is above the price. It's starting to deviate away from the price. And then as we go, we'll see this blue momentum line. So this was the last momentum line. So not the last momentum line, the last breakout marker. So this blue breakout marker is the last signal generated by the breakout volume marker. So that is the one that you will be acting on. So you'll pay attention to where the others are, but that last marker is the one that is the most important when you're making your trading decisions. Okay, so that one over there, marker left behind, momentum line facing up. Okay, you've got a beautiful run up there. You have some arrows over here facing down, okay, but this momentum line is still facing up. So it's not a time to be taking short positions when this momentum line is right up. Okay, so that is up. We had some more divergence. Notice now how the momentum line is starting to come closer towards the price. It's going to move. So so you'll see that's the exact one. But as soon as the bar closes, that momentum line is going to reposition itself. So it's going to be accurate on every single bar that you are trading on. And when you see something like that, where there's a huge deviation between the price and the momentum line, and it's facing in a direction, you know that there's a very, very, very high likelihood that price is going to go up. Okay, so that is like an amazing scalping opportunity to just even for 1 or 2 bars of profit. Momentum line facing up, and this is where we are now. And then that was the first one where we had the momentum line change color, and this is currently where we are. So that is just some good signals there. So that's the last one there. As soon as the price was above there, that's an opportunity to go long here, even if it's for 1 or 2 or 3 bars worth of take profit. And our shadow trading signal has given us an incredible signal over here too, with its marker being left behind for a 1 or 2 bar of take profit. So there's a lot you can read up. There's a lot you can read from this. And, there's so many opportunities to enter positions whenever you open up this chart. So, pay attention to this. It is extremely powerful. I know a lot of you guys have. So there's the price again, coming to touch the shadow trading line there. Also a great little opportunity there for a scalping position, because sometimes this is also a resistance line, you see. So the price is either going to break up, or it's going to touch and break down. So there's so many little opportunities for, even if it's for 1 or 2 bars of trades. Okay, so that is that. I love covering this chart because it's so powerful, and I'm going to down the track, because I'm busy. I'm going to restructure this whole business down the track. Now, obviously, all the members that are current members now are going to have everything that's ever included. But down the track, I'm going to offer some really deep diving into the tools, into each specific tool. Because remember, there's a shitload of coding and programming and things that are happening behind the scenes of these indicators. There's so much there's so much technology in here. There's so much evaluation of what price is doing, what the momentum of price is, what the velocity of price is, what the action of the bars are. All of that is contributing to these signals being generated. So there's going to be, everything that we've been covering over the last few years is going to be compounded into a powerful, deep diving course into the tools. So, that's going to come out down the track. But, I want you guys to really, especially you guys that have been around for a while, you've been on this call weekly, all these little nuggets, you're going to remember them. You're going to, keep working on what you're doing, and, you guys are already mastering it, which is powerful. Okay, so the main point about this one was remember the last signal. Okay, act on the last signal. Now, there's going to be a time soon where this is going to start changing, and there's going to be another breakout marker left behind to the downside. But the good thing about this price action is there's no resistance. There's no resistance between these two levels. See, there was the 5-minute Fibonacci level, which would have been the 5-minute 50 Fibonacci level, which is just hidden behind there. You can see this gray line. If I move over, you'll see. It won't actually show me. You'll see there's that's where the 5-minute Fibonacci. There it is. There you can barely see it at the bottom, but that is where the 5-minute is. You see. So we currently have that in action. It's phenomenal. So like I said, there's no resistance here. So there's a good chance this can go up, at least up until there. And look what happened over there. It went up on Friday. Sorry, this is the beginning of the session. So this is the beginning of the session today. And I apologize. These markers may have even been up here at the beginning of the session. So these were the last signals of those markers. So as the market opens, if you had to replay this data, you'll probably see that these markers will start over here and then they will go. In fact, if you go into the markers, marker settings, you'll be able to see the plots of those. So if I go into one of those, I'm going to go just to the gold one, all right? So I'm going to find the gold one, which is the orange one, sorry. The orange one, and I'm going to activate the center line price. Let's see if I can get this one done very quickly. And I'm going to make this gold. Where are you? Okay, gold. Apply. And just give that a moment to load. There we go. Okay. So if you had to do that, you will see that this is the last area. That is the last plot that it made. So this gold line over here, plotted over there. Okay, so it would have been over here. So this line over here, and it was over there on Friday. So that is where it was on Friday, the last time it plotted. And you can scroll back. You can actually scroll back and you can look at every single day, every single place where it plotted. So this gives you a history of where that specific breakout marker was left behind. So you'll see it was left behind over there. It was left behind over there. So here it was obviously a lot of action over here, a lot of price movement. That's where it was left behind. That's where it was left behind. There. So historically you can see, and you can see it was left behind over there. And the last time it was left behind before that was all the way up over here. So you can see this is where that marker was. And the next time it gave a signal was over there. So that was 421 ticks away. So these signals are constantly being plotted throughout the day. And it's showing you where they are. So wherever they start, so you'll see that one starts over there. It's plotting from that level. It moved over there. It's plotting over there. And where it ends is where it plotted to. And as soon as the signal changed, or as soon as that marker repositioned itself, it changed to that level. So, that's how you can read these things, if you wanted to look backwards on it. So like there's another one, you see, look, it plotted over there, and then it plotted over there, and then it plotted over there. So, that's the cool thing about these, you can actually see historically where they were. All right, I'm going to remove this. Okay, so we'll cover some of the results from last week. So thank you guys for constantly sharing your results. And I wanted to remind anybody that's watching is that we still have the $59 subscription for the DTB system, which is a freaking steal because you get access to the entire system. You're not buying one individual indicator or one automated strategy. Every automated strategy that they are selling out there is like 1,999 or 1,799 or one whatever bullshit. Okay, all of the strategies that we are covering, that we show results for, it will cost somebody $59. I mean, you have access to the entire DTB system for $59 for a week. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? Some of you guys, that are been members for a while, you can see the great value in that, and it's unbelievable how that can be available for that price for everything. It's quite phenomenal, actually. So the results, here we go. So this is our group results all chat. So thank you guys for Steve for sharing. You've had incredible results on this. So thank you so much for sharing your all of your account results, which is really cool. It's really nice to see. Ali, thank you so much too. Incredible results on there too for your accounts. So again, thanks for sharing that. Phenomenal records there. And you've also got some templates that have been shared there. Oh, this is Ali's template. I mean, Christopher's Alt X. I love your guys' chat during the week. It definitely is. It's awesome to see. You guys. And Vinu, I think you just joined the last couple of weeks. So really impressed with guys who jump in. You start the system, you jump in immediately, you start doing optimizations, you start using the templates, you just jump in. It doesn't take that much effort to really jump into the system because it's basically on a plate. But I really appreciate it when guys jump in and they just go for it. And you jumped straight into a 3-month subscription. You didn't even bother going weekly because, you obviously could see the value in what we were offering here. And, you've paid for 3 months and you want to take advantage of it. So, and you've obviously made back your money already within your first few days of trading. So goddamn amazing. Okay. So nice entries here. Thank you, Mauricio, for putting in your entries. Look at that. What a beautiful run. All the way from there to there. Phenomenal. Okay. Really good trades. Paul, thank you for doing it. You are a master of this chart, the take it and run. You've also created the document for this template, which is amazing. So look at that. Entries. You obviously had your stop just above here because that's where you normally run your stop. So you would have come close to your stop over there, but look at the phenomenal signals. Look at the phenomenal, visual representation of where the support resistances are. I mean, it's all there, right? Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. And where are we? Okay. So there we go. Christopher, thank you so much. Kicking ass. Absolutely kicking ass. There's huge returns being made here, which is absolutely phenomenal. There we go. Love it. Okay. I won't cover too much more of this. Thank you for all of these. These are amazing. Yeah, so like I said, these chats are open to the public, so people can see the actual results on here. phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. I'm loving this. I'm actually loving the quality of the results coming through. So, well done to you guys. Well done. It's really awesome. Okay, so and also for Steve shared a template. Steve shared a template a few weeks ago, or could have been 2 weeks ago, of a 6E template. So I mean, that is what that 6E template has achieved. I mean, isn't that amazing? So if we just ran that one template, that's what it would have actually achieved. Freaking amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so now going towards our game plan. So as you guys know, I do prepare a game plan every week. I have not done this week's game plan because I was a bit unsure of what this week was going to hold. So I was actually planning on not trading on Monday because I'm not sure how the US market is going to react, to today's, to the weekend's, issues, or the weekend's, things that happened. So I'm not sure what's going to happen on Monday, US time. I mean, imagine it I think you guys were on the brink of a freaking civil war in the US. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't trade on a Friday, because the banks and institutions know that if major shit's going to happen, it's probably going to happen over a weekend. Okay, so, I think you guys were very close to a major freaking catastrophe in the US over the weekend. And, the markets could have opened limit up or limit down on Monday, like on Sunday night. I mean, that's what can happen. If there's a major thing that happens over a weekend, that's what can happen with the markets. So the banks and institutions are not going to be holding positions over weekends, especially over the last year, 2 years plus. I mean, literally, as you guys can see, anything can happen over a weekend. So there's a lot of sporadic and inconsistent trading that happens on a Friday because all the banks and institutions are trying to exit their positions before the weekend because they don't want to have the possibility, or they don't want to have the issue of something dramatic happening over a weekend that the market opens and completely destroys them on the Monday or Sunday night. I call it Monday because it's Monday my time. So, that's why I specifically don't like trading on a Friday. But, if you are trading on a Friday, it's good to watch your charts. Just watch what's happening. If it seems to be out of whack, just get out of it. I didn't personally trade this Friday, but I know some of you guys did. And, the game plan just worked, right? I mean, look at the game plan results for the week. So I posted my results here. Where were we? So I try to get the, okay, so where are we? We are here, beginning of the trading week. That was the previous week, right? Okay. Okay, so game plan results, the 8th of July. Now, if I bring up my clock, let me just bring up my clock. I'm pretty sure, where is it? Yeah, so 8th to the 12th would have been last week. Okay, perfect. So 8 to 12. So on the 8th, the game plan made $714 profit. Okay, so say for example, you bought a subscription last week for $59. You ran the game plan for the first day, which is handed on a plate. You would have made $700. Isn't that freaking amazing? Okay. So the next day, okay, so there we go. So that was the 8th of July. The 9th of July, the game plan made $887, so a little bit down on Tuesday. Wednesday made 402 net. And by Thursday by 9:30, the strategies had already made $1,000, which is absolutely damn incredible. And the end of the session, the strategies had made $1,427. So that was the live results of that. And I think it actually ended on 1640. I took the screenshot earlier, And then that was the end of it. So there was 1,277, and there was a few more trades, ended on 1640. So last week, if we look at the game plan results for last week, it was 1640. Now, as I showed you a few seconds ago, just the 6E template that was shared by Steve made 3,200. So, you know, the game plan that I'm putting together is pretty conservative. We're not going for major large trades. In fact, it's more suited towards the funded account programs where it's only entering a few positions. So, you know, and I see that Steve actually continued the game plan for Friday. So, you know, made over $4,000 using the game plan. So really awesome. So, you know, thanks again for sharing that. So that's the results, you know. So I'm going to prepare the game plan for this week. And I'm thinking of only setting it up for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. So I'm going to try something. I'm not trying something new. I'm going to do something that I've done before, which was extremely, extremely effective. And that was optimize the strategies for only Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Like literally like only optimizing those very specific days for all the period that I'm going to optimize. So the strategies have settings in them. If I just go to like the strategy settings over here, look how this is still going up. Beautiful. So the strategies all have a box in here to choose which day of the week. So for the week ahead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to optimize Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So these are the specific days I'm going to put in my strategy analyzer, and I'm going to optimize for those days. And then the strategies are going to run Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with those optimized results. So that's going to be quite, it's basically honing in on those specific days of the week for the last, 12 weeks. I'm going to do optimization for the last 12 weeks, specifically for these 3 days. Now, some of you might remember a while back, I did live trading sessions between 9 and 10 a.m. and where I only optimized that specific day. So what I did is if it was a Monday 9 till 11, what I did is I optimized Monday only 9 to 11 for the last 6 months. And then I actually got the last 6 Mondays worth of data, and I used the best results that performed well on a Monday for the last 6 months basically, or 3 months, or whatever, 6-7 weeks in a row. So that proved to be successful. So what I'm trying to say too is that there's multiple ways of being able to optimize these strategies and use them. So a whole point of this game plan too is to show you guys different ways of working with the strategies on different levels. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at our new, I'm going to just close this workspace. Okay. So I'm going to close that. No. I've got to be careful not to save things in here, because this is where I use, this is where I get all the templates from for you guys. I don't want to mess up any of those. Okay, so let's load a new chart. So if you're on the latest assembly, so if you go to tools, remove NinjaScript assembly. If you're not on the 13th of July, you can update. Now, if you're not going to use this next indicator that I'm showing you now for manual trading, you don't have to update. The previous one, which was probably the 10th of July, would be fine. But that should be okay. But if you can update to the 13th, it doesn't take long anyway. As I showed on last week's call, it took like 3 minutes in total. So update to that. I'm going to open up a new chart. Let's go with MNQ. Why not? And I'm actually going to choose a minute bars on this, because the indicator that I've got here is specifically for the minute bars. Well, it just shows you clearly what it's doing on the minute bars. So I got that. I just want to get the I just want to get the chart trader a little bit wider on the end, like that. Excuse me. Okay, so indicators. So we're jumping into the indicators. And again, if there's any questions, guys, during the call, just pop them in the chat for the what you call it, in the Discord chat. Now, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do these calls on YouTube anymore. I prefer to have these calls done on Zoom, where we you guys can interact directly. You can unmute yourselves. You can talk directly. So I'm obviously not going to put those live. So I'm thinking of reverting back to closed, to keeping these calls within the members only down the track. So we'll see how we go with that. Okay, so go to your indicator settings, and if you go scroll down, you will see there's an indicator called Trade Zone. Now, this indicator has been in all the previous assemblies for the last 2 months, but we haven't actually covered yet. In fact, it said work in progress. So we're going to activate the Trade Zone. Now, when you activate the Trade Zone, you're going to see it's got specific times of the day there. Okay, so I've got 6:05 to 11:59, 8 a.m. to 8:35, 9:29 to 9:36. So we'll cover what those are in a moment. So I'm going to just apply that. Now you'll see we're currently within the first trigger zone, which is 6:05 to 11:59. Okay, so we're currently in there. So that's why you're not going to see any, any zone over here. But let's cover the last one for the day. So if you look at the indicator settings again, you'll see that the last one for the day. Now these are obviously, you can change these values to any values that you want, right? But the last one for the day was 9:29 to 9:36. So that's basically just before the shit happens, the shit hits the fan, and just after the main moves have happened, or the direction has been, has been confirmed, the range has been confirmed. Okay, so we're going to go straight to that section. So we'll see what this does, and I'll just go to remove the text so we can see only what we need to see. Okay, let's zoom in on this. Okay, so what this is doing is it is taking, I'll just get this up a little bit. Come on, you piece of shit. How does this thing, why is this thing doing what it's doing? The arrows, hello, stupid thing. Okay, so what this is doing is it is highlighting that specific period of time that has been selected. Okay, so if you look at this, it's taking the 9:29 bar, and it's taking up until the 9:36 bar, and what it's doing is it is blocking out that period. Okay, it's highlighting that period, and it's getting the high and low of that period, as well as the middle and the open. So those are the lines that are going to be showing for the rest of the session until the next value has been selected. So if you had like a 10 a.m. to 10:05, it'll also be in there. So what this is doing, now I've seen somebody online produce a video of something similar to this long after we actually had this indicator developed. And basically, he's got a primitive version where he draws a line on the high, he draws a line on the low, and then he, like vertical lines on the chart, and then he trades it. And what he basically does is he will trade the price as it moves and it bounces around those lines. So remember, all of these lines, the top and the bottom and the middle, are all going to continue on until the rest of the day. So basically, he works just with these levels only. Okay, so the idea behind this is, there's no scientific backing to this approach, but it seems to show levels. I mean, you can draw lines on a chart and work off them any way you want, But what this is doing is it's giving you a specific zone where the price has moved between that busiest time of the day. So if you take the high of it and you take the low of it, during those opening 5 minutes, the price moved 187 ticks up and down. Okay, and it basically formed like this zone. Now, what we've also done here is we have created Fibonacci levels for the next level. So we've put the same value. So the same value that zone is, there's another zone created over there and another zone created over here. This one doesn't have the fib levels in because it's meant to not, we don't want to see too many of these lines. So we've basically made that zone up until 4 levels above. Sorry, 1, 2, 3 levels up and 3 levels down. So you'll see the exact same thing happens underneath. And you can see that's where the last one ended. So the 8, the previous one ended over there. So there is your 8 a.m. to 8:35. Okay, so those lines continued up until there. These ones continued up until there. So yeah, we have this level here. Oh man, why is it so hard working on this stupid thing, man? And I don't know why my arrows are supposed to move the chart up and down. I mean, like, why the hell is that not happening? Is there something wrong with the stupid chart trader here? Let me just activate this chart trader. There's probably a setting over here. Properties, auto scale. Ah, that's a little bitch. Auto scale. I think that's the problem. No, it still doesn't want to go up and down. That is so weird. Okay, anyway. Yeah. So it's drawing these levels, all right, between that level, and you'll see price goes up and down. Now, the idea behind this is to trade the breakout of these levels. So because the price was zoned in this section, you're looking for a breakout of that range and then trade that. So you'll see the price came up there. It broke a bit above, came back down, retested like the open of that range, came up and closed. So the idea behind this is to basically trade the breakout of it. And then for your benefit, I've actually added in the same size zone over there. So you'll see the price traded the same value in ticks up, had some resistance there, went up again, and so on and so forth. So you'll see that those levels seem to be coming into play later. Now you'll see that's the continuation of it. That's the continuation of it. And there it shot up like crazy. So there's coming back within those levels. I mean, like I said, you could draw lines wherever the hell you want on your chart. But we know that, this was the zone of that 930. So it's just something you can look at. And I mean, if you look at previous zones, I mean, even if we go to like the previous day, like there's the longer one, like we're currently in now, from the 6 p.m. So it picks up the high and low of that area. Now, I don't have a very specific way to trade this other than, looking at those levels and looking at the breakout volume markers after those levels. So that's one thing we can definitely add to this chart, which makes it more of a powerful setup. So like we'll look at this. This is the previous 930. Okay, so we'll look at this 930 over here. So this is the 930 of the 11th of July. Okay, so we'll look at the 11th of July, which was on Thursday last week. Okay, so Thursday last week. Okay, that was the 929 to 936. So what happened is the price came down, it broke below. Okay, so you could have taken a short over there, but then would have been stopped out in here. Price came in, it retouched the open of that candle, came back down, broke out, came back to retest, and then shot down. So, you know, that is something you could be using as your trade entries on that. So every one of these, what we're basically doing is we're blocking out a very specific zone of price. So there's the 8 on the same day, 8 to 8:30. Obviously, there was a huge news announcement at 8:30, but it's just showing you where the price has gone between a very specific time of day and then marking out those lines. So you'll see that this move over here was a much larger move, right? So this one here was from this value to this value here. That was 472 ticks. So what's going to happen is the same thing's going to happen. So those 3 zones that are above, okay, those 3 zones that are above is also going to be 470. So each of those are going to be 470. So there's the price in there. And there's a few ways you can do this. You know, you can trade when the price, you can trade a bounce of the bottom towards the top. You can trade the bounce off the middle towards the down. You know, so that's what can be looked at. So there's, I mean, that's one of the things you can look at on that. We'll go to the previous one. Let's go to the previous level over here. Okay, so that is a longer one. That is the 6. That is the opening of the candle, right? The chart. Now, like I said, you can put any value in there. So it's basically just showing you the range of price between a certain period of time. Now, like I said, I don't think that this is a defined way to trade. You're probably going to have a lot more success with this if you had to implement like our breakout volume markers. Like that would be something, you know, that you would need to add in real time that will show you the breakout volume markers. But I popped a screenshot of this in our chat the other day. If I went to my signal charts on here, so like there was a screenshot I popped in last week. You know, we're exactly the same thing we just covered here. Look at that, you know, that crazy move that we saw over there. So it's something for you guys to look at. Now, like I said, what I'll do is I will put in the last time. So you see where we are right now. We are currently at 840. So I'm going to look at this exact candle. So we are currently at 843. Okay. So let me go to the indicator settings and change this value from 10 to 1159 to 844. Okay, apply and okay. So because we are currently within this candle, it's not going to plot the zone. It's only going to plot the zone after that candle has completed, because it's showing us where that zone is. So let's wait for this candle to complete, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, it should be only a few more seconds. Okay, so there we go. So now that area has been completed, that area is now being analyzed, you see. So what it's done is it's taken the high and it's taken the low of that time, which is between, you know, the time when we selected, and it's taken the high of that time. Okay, so that total range is 284 ticks. So that's how much the price has moved in the last, you know, since the market has opened, which is quite a lot actually. Okay, so it's moved that distance. Now what's going to happen is these zones are automatically plotted for the next ones up and above. So there's it'll be the same value, 284. So all of those are going to be plotted. Okay, so you can load that up. And now let's do a real-time example of what we can do here. Now, again, you can change this to any chart. So if you don't want to see the minute chart, I put the minute just because it makes it very easy to, to basically see the times to explain it. But if you want to convert this to if you want to convert this to a DTB bars to actually trade this properly, you'll be able to do that. So you can convert the exact same thing to the time, and the exact same thing is going to apply, right? It's going to mark out the bottom and the top of that. See, now what you can do is you can go to your indicators and you can go and load your breakout volume markers. So we'll go over here. So DTB breakout volume, and we'll just add, let's add 3 of those. Today, please. Okay, so there's the 3. And then you go template, load, because we've got all the templates in here, right? So I'm going to go crimson. And I'm going to leave the white. I'm going to go template, load. Let's go for the orange. Oh, actually, Dodger blue. Let's go Dodger blue. Load. Apply. And okay. Okay, so there's our markers. Okay, so they're not helping us right now for what we're looking at. But as soon as we see markers left behind and we at those different levels, then we can act on those levels. So that's like, a similar way of seeing what price is doing on these levels over here, because as you can imagine, as this price was moving, and there very well could have been a breakout marker left behind over here. Okay, well that's great. Marker left behind. We reach the top of that zone. Good chance of price coming down. The same thing over here. There's a very well likely that there would be a breakout markers somewhere over here. So following those, and this is giving you extra confirmation of something. Okay. Extra confirmation of a likelihood of price reversing. So if we go and we load, let's go load the other breakout marker volumes, values. So you can go load any number of these. So we like you said, we've got crimson, we've got white, and we've got Dodger blue. So you could go and load any of these values, and you can even load a few of them. And you might even want to work with the breakout box. I mean, there's so many different variables that you can use over here. You might even want to use some of the seconds ones. I mean, the second ones are also extremely powerful. So we'll leave the deep pink, and then we'll load another template over here. Let's go for the plum. Yep. And let me just see if I need any more. Slate blue. So we've got quite a few breakout volume markers left over here. So apply. And okay. I always like to wait for it to finish calculating, and then I press OK. So like there's our marker there right now. So we still currently, I mean, the box just ended over there. So it's now the idea to see where price is going to go from here. Now, as you can see, I've made these lines of the zone a little bit narrower than the breakout volume marker, so they don't clash, because you don't really want to have them clashing with your breakout volume markers. So if you go to your indicator settings, you'll see that in there, you are able to actually change the size of that line. So I've currently got it on 2. If you put it on 5, it'll match the breakout volume marker width, which you don't want to do that, you see, because you want them to be wider so you can see what they are. Okay, let me just check. Any questions at all? No, okay. So the idea behind this, like I said, is to watch what the price is doing and then see how it reacts around that zone that you have created. Now, because we're in a very small, obviously at the beginning of the market, we've had a few market moves already in this zone. We need to see what's going to happen after this, right? Because that is what we are looking at. We're looking at the price action after this zone has been created. Now, if you wanted to go and add, I mean, there's a few little options that you can use with this. So if you wanted to change, if you only wanted to have the one zone above, especially if you're just analyzing a short scalping area, if you just want to have the one Fibonacci extension above that, you can select that one. There's a few different options here for the coloring of the lines, which is customizable. Oh God, okay, that didn't do what I wanted to do. That kind of filled all the zones. Oh, okay, I might have just done. So what that's basically done is it's still left the 3 zones, but it's put all those fib levels in there. I thought I had changed that, but that's okay, no problem. Okay, so that basically shows all the levels. Not really intended. It was only supposed to show the one level above and below, but that's okay. We will. I'll look at that on another update. Not a train smash. But yeah, the main idea behind this is you can change your times that you want to optimize. You can even make it 9:30 to 9:35 if you really wanted to. Any time of the day that you want to analyze. And there might need to be a bit more research done into specific times of the day, looking at zones, price action around those zones. But these breakout markers with those zones, I think, are going to provide a really nice view of of zoning the price. Like I said, I haven't done too much work around specific price zones, but this is highlighting them. So there's probably going to be some of you guys who might understand this a lot better than what I do. I mean, it's not something, like I said, I've been focusing on, because I'm more interested in in the actual price action of the current price and where it's likely to go next. But this is combining some of that, right? Because these breakout markers are giving you a very good indication of what price is doing. And again, you can, like I said, you can change any of the times in this. If you had to make this between 9 or between 6 and 6:30, I mean, I'll just do that for shits and giggles here. But if you go in here and you change this to, let me just bring this up again. So 6:05 to 6:30. You can put that in. It's also a way that you can create rules for yourself. So you can block out specific times of the day, and you can say, okay, well, I'm going to trade the zone breakouts of that. Now, obviously, I did this because I could see the price was out. So it's unfair to actually show you this and say this is what you should do. But like that is an indication of something that you might adopt to yourself, or you might say, well, I'm going to block out a specific time of the day between whatever time you want, and when the price breaks out of that level, I'm going to enter positions if there are breakout markers to support that. That's something that you could do. So in this case, now obviously in hindsight, I mean, you'll have other vendors that'll say, oh, look, if you just look, this is what you do. You put it this time and then you enter trades over here. You see, look, you would have made so much money. Well, because they obviously tell you that in hindsight, right? Which is what I'm doing here. But like whatever period of the day you want to identify as a zone and then trade a breakout of that zone, then this is the tool for it. Okay, so hopefully that's enough on that. And just play around with it, guys. Play around with it and see, what you guys think of it. I think it's pretty cool. Chanel. Okay, so cool. So that is as far as the updates go. We've covered the results, updates. Okay, so keep an eye out for the game plan chat. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. I'm going to optimize those specific days. So you're not going to have any game plan to trade on Monday because, like I said, I'm not sure how the US market is going to react, especially with new news coming out and whatever. How these freaking news companies, CNN, the most corrupt news network that exists, they're going to spin a whole lot of stories. Who knows what's going to happen with the market today in the US? It might be nothing. It might be just normal trading. But I'm just going to skip today and go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the game plan. Hey guys, thank you very much for jumping on the call, and we shall chat to you during the week. Okay. Cheers.